Hi everyone, this is Kilzhot from 99 Gaming, and this is Preacher Reaction Live Chat, episode number 7, Pig. Very, very good episode tonight. There was a lot of hidden meanings in tonight's episode, so we're going to go through a few of those. I didn't have a chance to break down each and every one of them. The show is just, it's blowing me away right now. Last week's episode, to me, was the best one yet. This one was good, but this was another one of those where we've got a new villain, we've got to dig down, we've got to get to the storyline. Personally, I don't think this matched last week, but I do think it's got some really, really awesome stuff. A couple things that I caught on, and we'll see if there's some things that you caught on. I really think at the end of the season I could go back episode by episode and just find 10, 15, 20 hidden clues in every single one. So I'm pretty excited. I see a few people starting to roll in. Let you guys know this will contain, if you haven't watched it yet, this will contain a little bit of a recap, my reactions to those things, some questions with each and every one of you. If you guys are new to the live streams, you know that if you type something in chat, I'm liable to call on you, read your name. I'm going to give different reactions to different things. It's not going to be, oh my God, that just happened, and kind of freak you guys out. I'm usually a little bit more reserved, but I do like to dig down and really get to, like, what did that mean? I see Rick Grimes. I see Moody the Muddy Girl. Thank you for being here. Emmy Desiree Bacon, Lynn Myers, James Gallegos, and a bunch of other people. And before we get started, I do have to make one special announcement. So I do want to let you guys know we have added a brand new moderator to the channel, and that is Emmy Desiree Bacon. So, of course, you guys have seen Moody Girl, you've seen Dark Angel, and now Emmy with her brand new promotion. You can see she's going to be dropping the hammer on some of you guys, so make sure, you know, we give a little bit of latitude with the chat. Don't be, like, intentionally rude, lewd, perverse, but, you know, every once in a while, a show like tonight, there's going to be some things that we talk about that is going to shift the narrative a little bit, so to speak. So once again, thank you. I would say congratulations, but I'd rather say thank you to Emmy. Appreciate you know, your support and helping out the channel. Just awesome. You know, we're growing, and we're going to need more and more people. So we can't have everybody as a moderator, but definitely as we get closer to Walking Dead, we'll probably look to add at least one additional person. So thank you. All right, let's get this thing rolling. A little bit later on in this broadcast, I'm going to tell you guys about some of the live streams and what we're working on. So it started out in Vietnam, and there was just some real subtle humor in there where the dude is eating, and he says to his wife, "I didn't marry you for your cooking." I thought some real good subtle banter back and forth. And then we found out what all this was about. So you didn't know if there was some demon or something attacking or what happened. It was a floating pig. Floating pigs have some, they have a couple different meanings. It's a sign of protest. There were some political references later on in the show, so obviously that's something we can discuss and we can see if that was the meaning. However, I think the floating pig was more of a of paying homage to Pink Floyd and the Animals album, because on the cover of Pink Floyd's Animals album is a floating pig. A lot of history, a lot of storyline behind that, and I think it was just one of those hidden clues. I'll have to dig a little bit deeper, but there were multiple songs on the Animals album. I think it's Pigs on the Wings. There's several songs that relate to animals and pigs, but that's what I think is it had a little bit to do with that. I will also say that once you shifted that, you knew, and I'm trying to get the guy's exact name. I think they call him Star, Air Star, Hair Star, something along those lines. I have to get his exact name. I completely went by me, so I apologize for that. I'll be a little bit more prepared. But you went to the shoe shine boy, and the guy shining shoes, and then we get the flashback. But before we get to all of that, and you knew something diabolical was being planned there, we go back to New Orleans. So we're going back and forth between Vietnam and New Orleans. So it does show you that the culture is very widespread. Last week we had a lot of Japanese references, and we also had New Orleans this week, Vietnam and New Orleans. And I'm going to switch just a little bit, and I see a few more people have logged in. Some of your comments will go back and forth, so let's Hair star. Okay, I'm okay with that. Air. Pretty diabolical dude. But yeah, I'll get the exact spelling for the next one. So Westwick says, I can tell you just when you put the Saint of Killers on ice, here comes Air Star. So hang on, I've got multiple comments coming up. So Moody Girl says, it's from the Pink Floyd book Kills. Hubs is making sure I tell you. You're going to have to give me more details than that because I'm like shifting back and forth between multiple comments. Hold on. I didn't see the last episode at work. You got to get back and watch that, Tommy. I'm trying to correlate, and they could definitely pay tribute to Pink Floyd, but I'm trying to figure out how it would sort of tie into the show, unless it's just a random. Maybe Seth just loves Pink Floyd and just wanted to get it out there. All right, I'll get back to some of the comments in just a couple seconds because I want to recap a little bit of this. We saw a typical, I guess not even Mardi Gras, but you did see the beads, and you saw the girls that were passed out, and we found out there's two trucks. There's dead and there's drunk, and they really focused in on the drunk in New Orleans. But the club, or the the place where they shot people, was called Hurt Locker. Now I also saw that there was a commercial for the movie coming out, Detroit, and I guess evidently either the producer or the person that's involved in the movie Detroit is also the person that was involved in Hurt Locker. So I don't know if that's coincidental, if it was like in-show marketing, in-show advertising, which I'm surprised more people don't do that, but Hurt Locker could have a bunch of different meanings, but the movie Hurt Locker and the movie Detroit, same producer. And let's move forward a little bit. What did you think about the multiple references and the slight comments between Tulip and Cassidy? So Tulip kisses Cassidy and says she loves him and he loves her. Acting, or is there a little bit that's going to develop in that storyline a little bit later? Let me open that up for a little bit of your debate before we move on and recap the next topic. If you have not been to New Orleans, I suggest you go. It is a amazing place. The city does not shut down. So, Tulip and Cassidy, the kiss, the comments, references a little bit later on. Your thoughts? Westwick says, looks to be some feelings. So Emmy thinks that Tulip does have some feelings for Cassidy. Later on, after Tulip had the dream, we'll get to that into a minute, she did look at Jesse and say, you're late. You were late, and if it weren't for Cassidy, and kind of stops it right there. Renee says she thinks she's starting to have feelings for Cass. I mean, she did walk away at the altar. James, great point. When they were at the Hurt Locker, she says, "Get the biggest gun." So she knows it's not. He knows it's not going to kill him, but he definitely wants to do a little bit of pain. Steph says Tulip is having some post-traumatic syndrome, and she was touched by, when she was touched by the Saint of Killers, that could have had a little bit of that effect. Yeah, maybe, but there have been some feelings and a slight connection all the way through the episode, or all the way through the series. All right, so when Jesse wanted to leave, Tulip is drinking a little bit and says, I'm having fun. I like the comic relief there. And then Jesse brought up, well, you know, when you kiss Cassidy, you look like you were having fun. And I did like the icebreaker there. And I think we've all done that at some point where you just kind of mock someone. And it's like you finish their sentence. And as they got further and further in it, I think Jesse was irritated at first, and then it just became like a laughing match. Kind of that cute relationship they have. And we come to find out that Tulip she's thinking about the Saint of Killers quite a bit. And she even asked Jesse, did you send him to hell? And you know, Jesse basically says, I took care of him, in so many words. A couple people have asked me this on Kick, so I'm going to throw it out there just in the live chat because people be watching the playback. As far as, there is Super Chat, there are live donations, there are things that you can do with those. Just as an FYI, definitely don't expect it, but I do want to kind of bring it up. Down below the chat, there's a emoji sign and there's also a dollar sign. So some people do that from time to time. If you hit the dollar sign, it leaves a monetary donation like $2 up to whatever, 500. And then anytime that happens in the live stream, if you choose to do that, we're going to talk about your topic. So don't just kind of do it to say, hey, kills, whatever. Have a follow-up question or something along with it, because I would like to at least give you the courtesy of talking about your topic or the direction you want to go. So hopefully that helps some people out. I don't know. I know it's on PC. I don't know how it shows up on people's phones, to be honest with you. So anyway, that's the Super Chat donation down below if you have any questions with that. I'm going to move forward, and I am still going to call in some different questions and a few things back and forth. So let's get to the bar scene. So after the bar clears out, as luck would have it, we have a French professor from Tulane. And we find out that all this time, Cassidy's son, Denis, has been telling him that he's unhappy. Whereas, ironically, Cassidy was saying, you know, I know you're happy, I'm enjoying it, but he had it all backwards. What he was saying is that he's selfish, he's an absent father, but he does know that he is his father. So I thought that was kind of neat. I mean, there's no doubt about that. And the son wants to live forever. What a interesting dilemma here. So what do you think, Cassie? Is Cassie going to start using his vampire powers and making people immortal? It was funny a little bit later on when Cassidy saw the family grieving over the dying person, and his father, or I'm sorry, his son, he's older, so I keep thinking he's his father. So his son is actually dying, and the one thing he refuses to do is to give him a way to live forever. So leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Let me see, what do you think Cassidy is going to do? So I see you, Gavin G. Thanks for popping into the chat. And be just a little bit of a pause here. We're going to let a couple people catch up with that comment, and I'm going to read, give some shout-outs here and do a few of the comments. What's up, Tobin? Thanks for popping in. So Lindsay says it'd be cool to see Cassidy use his vampire powers a little bit more, because they've humanized him to a point where I don't even think we see that side of him anymore. So AJ says, I don't think he wants his son to have his own fate. Yeah, and I guess that's part of it, because, I mean, you know, one thing, you might live forever, but you ain't going out in the sunlight. So there are some sacrifices. And of course, you have like that that insatiable that blood. You got to just kind of feed that and fuel that all the time. So Emmy says that on the Comic-Con panel for Preacher, which I did not see, by the way, they said that we would see more vampire-like activities from Cassidy. So maybe there's a little bit of your spoiler. Kel thinks if he uses his vampire powers that it'll upset Tulip. So he's trying to put that to the side. Do not. So social media question, Rick Grimes 12. I don't. I'm not a big Messenger user. I'm not Snapchat, Instagram. I use Kick as a means of communication, so you guys can always reach me on Kick. But other than Facebook 999 Army page, occasionally Messenger if I have to, the best way to reach me is through Kick. And if you guys want to send me a message, it's Kilzhot. Yes, Steph, I did see the original Flatliners. Yeah, probably a good reference, Steph. So let me get through a few more of the kind of the play-by-play and kind of react to some of those things. So the son does want to live forever. And then we get Cassidy is so upset with that suggestion, he kills a whole bottle of liquor and passes out. Does not wake up from the shock, and he gets put in the death cart, not the drunk cart. So Tulip has a dream in a dream. Have you guys ever done that? Let me ask that to the group. Because that, you know, I'm watching that along the way, and it's like, okay, Tulip had a bad dream. She woke up, closed the window, walks out, comes back, the window's open, turns off the flame's back on. At that point, you got to be thinking like, okay, it's creepy. And then she had already woken up from her dream, and then she had a dream within a dream. I've done that before, and I got to tell you, it is creepy, because when you dream that you're having a dream and you wake up, you pretty much convince yourself that that you're really awake. And I've even done that to a point, I'm going to get off topic here, but you know, you're always taught to like pinch yourself. And I pinched myself in a dream before, and I freaking felt it. Like, or I thought I felt it. So that doesn't work either. Crazy stuff. So I just thought that was kind of awesome that, you know, some people have probably dealt with that, and they're, you know, they're willing on the show to just bring up topics that are you don't think about on an everyday basis. That we do it, but then they're incorporating this into a TV show. And I'm taking mad notes because, or during the show, I'm like, Tulip closed the window, she opened the window, fire's on, fire's off. And then when I get about halfway through it, I'm like, it's another freaking dream. I'm taking all these things to talk about and address. But the one thing from it, though, the next day, she did see the bullet hole, and that got a little bit odd later on, so we'll talk about that toward the end. And then that's where we do finally see Jesse, and she's given him a little bit of that cold shoulder, because she did say, as I mentioned before, you were late, and Cassidy was here, and then Jesse basically says, I'm going out. Where are you going? I'm looking to talk to a man about the end of the world. Tulip doesn't want to go. She really reserves, and then right before the commercial break we find out Cassidy is in the morgue, and this is not the first time this has happened to him. So the brand new villain, we go through all of this testing, and some of it was very bizarre testing, but I thought the one, the two things that really hit home was the seduction scene. give me the microfiche or I'll kill you and your family. And then, of course, I thought it was very, very predictable that he shot the guy at the end. I mean, the guy was like Mr. Perfect. He's doing everything right. Bam, 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 bam. And then, boom, he's gone. But now that Saint of Killers is a little bit out of the equation, at least temporarily, we have a brand new villain. One of the things that did come out, and this group is called the Holy Grail, the Grail. They did this a couple weeks ago too. So their responsibility is to protect Christ or the Son of Christ, which I thought was pretty interesting. They said he gave a gift to the world and he knows when the end of the world is coming. And in the past, this Grail group have taken out such people as Lincoln and John Belushi. So, interesting combination. They were both compared to false prophets. And a bit later on, we find out that when Jesse is talking to the, maybe he's homeless, maybe not, the guy asking for money, says the world has went a little bit crazy since Tom Cruise exploded, the Cubs won the World Series, Trump was elected, and now there's flying pigs. So once again, we get a little bit of everything, setting the stage of how bizarre the world is. So I refuse to take political positions, but as a host, I do have to address comments within the show. So we end up finding out that people are actually afraid of themselves. And we did mention this in last week's chat, that 1% of Jesse's soul that he gave up, it may be too much. That as a person that is representing God, not having 100% of his soul, he may never be able to get that back. So I'm going to open it up for some of your comments, and then we'll talk about some of the, the guy said, I would tell this guy, give up a kidney, because if you truly want to know a sign of the apocalypse, it's when men start selling their souls. So we're getting bits and pieces, maybe almost like a new version of 7 signs of things that are going to happen during the apocalypse. Well, it looks like there's floating pigs, there's men selling their souls, a lot of things that are happening. This pig was referred to as a meat balloon. I will find a way to incorporate the words meat balloon into a future video. I don't know how, I don't know when, but it's definitely going to be referenced at some other point. So here's a few of your comments. So I do want to see James. James says, still waiting to see what the 1% of Jesse is gone. Lindsay Luke says Jesse may not be able to get into heaven because he's missing 1%. Yeah, it could be a pure soul. We never know what is going to happen. Lynn Meyer says, slam that pulpit button. So if you guys have not hit the like button, just slam it. Matt Briggs is our resident comic expert. So sure, Cassidy's full name is fine. You can kind of put that up there. I don't think that's an extreme spoiler. It's not Sean Cassidy, is it? There were a few really, I can't say all the comments, but there was one that early on in the show, if somebody can type it if they want to type it, but I'm not saying in the video, but he made a reference to the male anatomy and said, well, it's kind of like a 10-inch, you have to see it to believe it. You have to pay close attention to this show because they will throw something out there and immediately back it up with something else or change the subject. I will also say another thing, and this distracts me so much when it does it. In Tulip's dream, and answer this question if you were doing the same thing. So Tulip walks over and closes the window. How many of you were watching the TV, trying to see what was on television. Because I do that so much. It's like they've got you centered on what's going on, but then there's a distraction going on the side. And it's not just like when Jesse's watching God on TV. Like that, I know to watch Jesse and I know something's going on. It's this completely off-the-wall thing happening. They do it masterfully. They do it awesome. And I didn't catch the TV show, but I'm sure it had some meaning, but it just distracts me. So if you guys did that, I'm kind of curious. But they do get away with some stuff that I can't get away with on YouTube. All right, so at least a couple people were watching the television show. So I'm going to defer to my resident rating expert. Part of the reason why we promoted Emmy Bacon to a moderator is because she likes scoring things. You know, like I give this an 8, I give this a 9. So I'm going to defer first, and then the rest of us can join in. I'll give my opinion. So Emmy, number 1, I want you to rate tonight's episode, and then I want you to give me a running total of where you see the entire season so far. So let's start with Emmy, and then the rest of us will throw our numbers in there since she is our rater / mathematician. Yeah, I agree, Emmy. I could have a field day with hidden clues, and I'm sure a lot of it just goes completely over my head. I think next season I will definitely get into a little bit more of the hidden clues. I can't read all of your comments either. I'll read some, but I'm not putting everything that you guys say in a video. All right, once we get this rating system going, we'll get some individual call-outs, and we'll talk about some next steps. All right, so Emmy is going with a, and now Grant, I will say she's a little higher rating than most, but tonight's 9.5. Overall season so far 10. You can't have a 10 plus. Hold on. I think I need a new mathematician. So if a 10 is a perfect score and tonight is 9.5, then there's no way the season could be 10. Because it wouldn't be on a perfect scale. It'd have to at least be a 9.8, 9.9. All right, we're going to... All right, scratch that. Emmy, you've temporarily been demoted from rating person. Okay, everybody, open season at this point. Kel says 8 for tonight, which would drag it down. She has a running total of a 9. So all the people in chat right now, all the people watching this video in playback, let me know what you think about tonight's Preacher episode called Pig. What was your rating system for this, and where do you have the series for the entire season? So last week was as good as it gets. I will definitely say that. Last week was on the high end of my scale. So I'm going to come in and say tonight's episode, because they left, you know, there's a few answers I'm waiting to see. I didn't think it was quite as good as last week. I'm going to give it a 8.8 tonight, and I still have the season at a 9.2. 8.8. I think I was 9.5 last week, so I'm going to say tonight's episode is going to bring it down just a touch. I mean, I'm not going to turn it off. I'm not going to stop watching. We're not going to stop talking about it. But I'm going to give it a 9.2. Still very highly rated. James 8.6. So much pressure. You know what? Hey, you gotta live for the pressure. You got to think that last moment. 5 seconds left in the game. We pass the ball to Emmy. She's got an open jumper. Do you make the jump shot or do you pass it to someone else? You got to step up to the plate. Too many sports analogies. I don't know how I went from a basketball analogy to stepping up to the plate, the most overused cliche in the world. All right, we'll work with her on the rating system. Very, very solid episode, very solid season so far. Let me make a couple of announcements. So here's what's going on. We're sticking to pretty much the same schedule as much as we can. Sunday mornings, chill with Kills. You guys get over, check out some gaming streams. Over the next few weeks, we're going to diversify it a little bit and play a few different games. We tried that a few times. I did a cooking one. I did a couple things. Not all of them are popular, but I will diversify the game playing a little bit, and you know, we'll see what's out there. Of course, Sunday night is our Sunday Spoilers, where we talk Walking Dead. Monday night is Preacher Reactions. Tomorrow night, one of my favorites, we will be doing Random Things. So you guys, if you have some ideas, send them to me at the very last minute. That will be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow night. Be prepared to talk about any and everything. Wednesday night is our Wednesday Walker Spoiler Edition. Guess what? I've got some brand new filming news. Not going to tell you tonight. I'll tell you Wednesday night. And of course, our newly rolled out top 9. That'll be Thursday night. I will give you guys a topic, and we will go through. We'll do our research, and we will pick the top 9 something of all time. That's what we got going on. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here for Preacher Reactions. Tonight's episode, number 7, Pig. Appreciate the insight, the enthusiasm. If you guys uncover some other little secret hints and clues, naming, spellings, all of the above, then leave it in the comments below. And as always, you guys could do me one more favor. When this video goes live, well, 1, slap the like button now. That would be great. Number 2, when the video goes live, leave something in the comment section, because, as I said before, some of these videos will take the comments and we'll roll it over to our 999 Spoiler channel, and then you'll be a part, your reactions and your comments will be a part of that video as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that you guys do. Special shout out to Moody Girl, also Dark Angel, who could not be here tonight, and our newest moderator, give it up, the girl who rates this show a 10.5 on a scale of 10, Emmy Bacon. So thank you for everything that you guys do. It's shout out time. If you guys want to shout out, just leave it in the comments. I do want to say what's up to Rick Grimes 12, James Gallegos, Northside Queen. Thank you so much for being here, Northside. Lindsay Luke, Double L will rock the bells. Moody Girl, Emmy Desiree Bacon. Who else we got? I saw AJ Jepson. You know what, AJ? I'm going to give you the shout out before you even type anything. Tommy, the sweet-ass enforcer McCandless. Super long internet name, and he is the enforcer. He rolls up the sleeves and makes sure things get done around here. Steph Richardson, the Cuervo Queen. Thank you. Rusty Shackelford. Missed it, but you can always watch the playback. Kel says, smile. What's up, Kel? Lynn Myers, thank you for being here. Where's Carol McFry? Where's my duet buddy? Matt Briggs, what's going on, Matt? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Brene, always a pleasure. Appreciate you being here and holding it down for the 999 Army. Thank you so much. Tommy's got the 999 for life. I know there's a few other people that I missed. Come on, guys. Don't make me scroll up, because I will. Just a quick shout-out request. See who I missed. Westwick 88, I know I missed you, so I want to say what's up to you. And you know what? I think I'm pretty good. I think I'm catching most people on this stream. And really, really appreciate the interaction. Thanks to all of you guys just for making these streams happen. Big and small crowds. You know, sometimes we'll get 50, sometimes we'll get 200. When Walking Dead kicks in, it's a madhouse in here. So, thank you. A couple people took the night off. It's all good. I think Carol's preparing. She's preparing for the duet. I might do like some Just You and I. Who is that? Is that Just You and I? That would be Eddie Rabbit and Crystal Gale, maybe? I don't know why that just popped in my head. If you guys know that off the top of your head, who sang that song, and if I'm right, just type something in chat. I think it might be Eddie Rabbit. I'm not gonna make this a random things or a singing stream because some people are just gonna watch this for the preacher reaction. But I am gonna wait around in chat just a minute to see if anybody knows that. I don't think it is Kenny Rogers. I think it's Eddie Rabbit. I think it's the guy that did, "Ooh, I'm driving my life away, looking for a better way for me." Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Anyway, Google it. Test my music knowledge. See if I'm right, see if I'm wrong. Thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you guys do. I am going to check out and call it a night. I will see maybe a gaming video up a little bit later. Could be a comic book read up tomorrow. But regardless, there will be random things tomorrow night, and I expect all of you to be there tomorrow night. And get your thinking caps on, get your loudest chat voices, and we'll have a lot of fun with random things. Thanks, everybody. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.